Let's start with Lewis.
Lewis?
Lewis, let's throw it back to last weekend. The incident with Max Verstappen on lap 48. 4 days on, having seen all of the footage, how do you reflect on it now?
I won. That's how I reflect on it. No, it was a good weekend. No, it was a difficult day. It was just such a difficult weekend, and just a lot of emotions. But we got there. We didn't give up. We stayed united as a team, and we got the result that we had dreamed of. And I think the team fully deserved it. So I don't look at any other incidents. Just been focusing on trying to recover and get back here in the best condition as I could be.
Did that win stay with you for longer than normal? The euphoria?
I'm not really, just because it's not had time, right? It's been straight into Monday was recovery, Tuesday already preparation for here. I was on the sim on Tuesday and then flew here. So not really had any time. Just taken as many naps as I could over the past couple of days. Had a lot of messages, so really grateful for all the amazing support from people all over, from fans to even the media. It's been really nice.
And Lewis, just one more from me about this battle with Max. You said after the race, with regards to this incident on lap 48, it was fine. This is what a World Championship battle should look like. Have you got anything more to add about what happened on that particular lap?
Not really. I think the reason at the time I'd say that is because that's the mentality you have to take, right? If you sit in the car in the moment and complain, it'll only hold you back. So in the moment, I just had to keep moving forwards. And also, it's difficult to judge on something that you've not seen all the angles. And of course, I've re-looked at it and have a different viewpoint naturally now, but as I said, I'm just putting all my energy to setting up the car and making sure that I'm in the right headspace this weekend. So I'm not really giving anything to it.
All right. And how much confidence does the pace of the car last weekend give you coming here?
Well, some weekends it's good, some weekends it's not, and we've not been here before, so we, like everyone, not really knowing what to expect. Just hopeful that the car feels like it did last week. I think we learned some things about where to put the car, and I hope that applies here, but it might not, and we'll find out when we get in the car tomorrow.
Good luck. Thank you, Lewis. Now, George, coming to you. You've already told us in this forum that you've driven the Losail circuit on the simulator. Now that you've been here yourself, does the circuit match your expectations?
I'm still actually yet to go around it. I'll go around it this evening. I had the chance to do it earlier when the sun was shining, but I decided not to because it'd be a bit hot and sweaty doing it then. So I'll go around this evening, watch some of the safety car laps, and so far it looks pretty cool, to be honest. I think it'll be fast flowing, tricky, pretty exposed, so let's see what's thrown at us.
What about the pace of your car? Is it right to say it seems to have dropped off the last couple of races? If so, do you think it'll be better here?
Yeah, I think we've definitely dropped off a little bit, but I'd say if you looked at the season as a whole, those past two races probably would not have suited our car with the natural characteristics it has. And we do hope that this will play slightly more in our favour, but nevertheless, we're going into a new circuit, new challenges, drivers having to learn, teams having to learn, and I think there'll be a lot of unknowns for us all. So I think just being alive to the situation, making sure you don't go in with too many preconceived ideas and making sure you're able to adapt will be key to this weekend.
Thank you. And George, your future teammate is sat alongside you now. When you see his performance in Brazil, what does that make you think?
I've been saying it for a long, long time. When Max and Red Bull seem to have the upper hand, I think you'd be pretty stupid to bet against Lewis and Mercedes, and I think last weekend and recent races has proven just that. The fact they're still in this fight is pretty exceptional, and obviously what Lewis did last week was also exceptional. So excited to be racing alongside Lewis next year, and be a great opportunity for me.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Let's do the fan question next. Please take a listen to this from Salma.
Hi, my name is Salma. I'm 10 years old. I have a question. Do you take being a Formula One driver as a normal job, or do you consider it fun? Good luck.
Is it fun?
Is it what?
Do you consider it like a normal job?
It's fun when you're fast. It's not when you're not.
Well, I think ultimately it started out as a hobby for us. So we're very, very fortunate to do something that we all love doing, and we get paid for it. However, there are particular elements that are incredibly hard work, and there's parts also that you don't want to do, just like you would normally do in I would say in a normal job. And I think it's relative, but we are, again, the fun part of our job is to get to drive and race these cars, and so I wouldn't call that part a job. That's the passion. It's all the stuff that's behind it to get to that point of doing, racing. That's the job.
Thank you, Drew.
Nothing more to add.
Nothing more to add. Well, Salma, thank you very much for your question. Let's open this to the floor now. And we'll kick off, please, with Rebecca Clancy from The Times. Rebecca.
Thank you very much, Tom. A question for Lewis, please. You just said there, Lewis, that you've had a chance to relook at all the angles of the overtake with Max, and you have a different point of view now. I was just wondering if you could please share that point of view, and does that view include the thought that perhaps Max does deserve a penalty? Thank you.
Honestly, it's not something that I really want to dive too much more into. I've not looked at all. I didn't mean I've looked at all the different angles. I've seen the onboard footage, for example, that came out. But as I said, last race was just trying to focus on the fact that we did something that was quite remarkable and which was unexpected. So just trying not to focus on any negatives. So right now, I think that the team I know are in discussion at this point, and so just leaving them to it. I've just been sitting with Bono and the engineers. We've got to restart this weekend and make sure that we bring the fight to them.
Thank you. Let's go to the BBC next, please. Andrew Benson.
Thanks, Tom. It's for both Lewis and George, actually. Stefano Domenicali said this week that Formula One racing in countries like Qatar and Saudi Arabia can help them make progress on human rights. Amnesty International described the human rights situation here and in Saudi as extremely troubling. Do you agree with Stefano, and what's your personal opinion on Formula One racing in countries such as this?
Lewis, please.
George, you want to take this one? No.
I mean, obviously, all of us drivers and everybody are aware of the human rights issues, but ultimately, for me personally, I trust in Formula One and the FIA to take us where they deem suitable, and for the rest, we're just fully focused on the driving. So I don't really have too much to add from that, and yeah.
Thank you. Lewis, please.
So I think it's a difficult one to speak on. I think, ultimately us as drivers, it's not our choice where we get to go and race. I do feel that we're aware there are issues in these places that we're going to, as there are around the world, but of course seems to be deemed as one of the worst in this part of the world. I do think as these sports go to these places, they're duty bound to raise awareness for these issues, and these places need scrutiny, and needs the media to speak about these things. Equal rights is a serious issue, And however, I'm aware that in this place they are trying to make steps, and it can't change overnight. I heard there are things like there's a new reform with the kafala system that was in place a couple of years ago, but still there's a long way to go. I just feel that if we are coming to these places, we need to be raising the profile of the situation.
Sky Sport.